And as we just reported, Royal Caribbean International has just announced that its newest ship, Quantum of the Seas, will make its home port in Shanghai, China. And joining me now to discuss this development and more is Royal Caribbean International President and Chief Operating Officer, Adam Goldstein. Adam, thanks for joining us. Good to have you.
You're welcome.
So Adam, Quantum of the Seas, your latest, greatest ship, is now docking in China as of May of next year. What's the significance of this?
It's the first time that any cruise line has taken such a new state-of-the-art ship and dedicated it to the Asia-Pacific region. It's unprecedented in that respect. And for us, it's a major step forward in our determination to be a leader in the emerging China cruise market.
Now, you've increased your presence in China recently by 66%. Why?
Because what we find is that Chinese consumers love their cruises just like everybody else. They are the most important emerging source of outbound travel in the world. This is a great opportunity to take them to nearby countries, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Philippines, and so forth. And they love it, and we're very happy to serve them.
Is China your biggest growth market at the moment then?
In percentage terms, absolutely. Now, admittedly, from a lower base. So there's maybe 700,000 Chinese cruising this year compared to 12 million Americans. There's a long way to go in absolute terms, but the 66% growth is by far the most in the world.
Are you doing anything to cater specifically for the Chinese cruiser?
There are certain things we need to tweak in our product formula. Obviously, they need to have a balance between the comfort foods that they're used to eating and the opportunity to try different Western cuisine. We need to put Chinese-speaking comedians in front of them. We need to have a certain amount of Chinese-speaking crew. What we really need to do is put retail opportunities in front of the customers. They are crazy shoppers, both on board and in the ports of call. That's one of the most important adjustments we've had to make.
So other than that, the formula remains the same, more shops, a different variety of food, but the same classic cruise formula?
Fundamentally, Royal Caribbean International. It's a great family vacation for all generations of the family, and the Chinese consumers responding to it just as all others have.
Well, the cruise industry has had a rough time lately. It suffered several calamities, as we saw in the report that Rochelle just made.
Yes.
The Concordia wreck, that took a toll on perception, and several breakouts of viruses and gastro diseases on board. How does that impact your company?
Well, the industry and our company have definitely had some challenging moments over the last few years. Now, in spite of that, we've continued to grow as an industry. Our revenue performance has continued to improve, and we've continued to attract first-timers into the cruise category. But we have a great responsibility for our customers when we take them with us on the water. And it's very important, particularly for people who are deciding whether or not to cruise for the first time, that they have the confidence to go with us and they understand that we have the safe track record.
Now, I'll tell you, I'm planning a vacation and I'm a reluctant cruiser because of that, because every cruise line, it seems, has major gastrointestinal situations. In January, 2 cruise lines, Princess and yours, had 700 people sick. So what can be done to improve the situation?
So we don't want anybody to get sick. But the norovirus is the second most common illness in the world after the common cold. About 6% of all Americans will suffer from norovirus this year. About 0.1% of cruise customers will suffer from norovirus this year. The big difference between us and everybody else is we have to report to the U.S. public health authorities every time a ship enters the United States how many GI illnesses that we've had. The result of that is we need to be a world-leading capability in hygienic and sanitation practices so that we absolutely minimize the incidence of these illnesses. And so we are trying to take care in every way that we can to minimize spread of norovirus.
Adam, the Cruise Lines International Association trade group says everything is sailing smoothly, sales are up, but a recent Harris poll tells a different story. One of the most disturbing statistics is, according to the poll, Americans have a more favorable attitude about commercial airlines than they do about cruises, and that's just to get to a destination. Also, their score for the trust in the cruise industry dropped 12%, and scores also indicate that plans to book a cruise dropped 13%, according to this Harris poll. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I will admit that an unfavorable comparison to the aviation industry is a little bit harsh to a cruise executive's ear. I will admit that. Our customers who know our cruises, who know our people, who know the discipline and the training of our men and women who serve on the water, they don't have any of these issues. They're completely confident. Our guest satisfaction ratings are as high as they've ever been. The issue that you're alluding to that I think is surfaced by that research is about the anxiety level of potential first-time cruisers, whether or not to come on board. It's really incumbent upon us, the industry association, the individual cruise lines, to market the value, the features, the excitement of cruising, and our dedication to do everything to take care of our guests. And we'll just keep going at that until we see the research go in a better way.
Okay, well, hopefully smooth sailing ahead. Thank you so much, Royal Caribbean International President and Chief Operating Officer, Adam Goldstein.